Okay, you're falling back in love with life. Don't get lost in the fantasy so that you can protect your dreams. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, this reading is for you. This time I'd like to welcome forth the power and the presence of the elevated guides who can assist me in delivering this message for the fixed signs. I ask that you open up our ears so that we hear the truth of liberation. I ask that you open up our minds so that we may bloom. I ask that you open up our hearts so that we may embrace our divinity. I ask for assistance in delivering this message, clarity, empathy, and ease. I give thanks. Hey, y'all. My name is Ashley Camille. I'm an intuitive consultant, and I gather information from the unseen to help you live your fullest and freest life. All right, let me get these cards out real quick. The energy that I pulled beforehand was really beautiful. It was really beautiful. It was about having a new lease on life, about having a new perspective, about being able to, all of these? Okay. Like dreams and feeling like they could come true, and like everything is falling in place, and it is this is beautiful energy. However, there was a bit of a warning of like making sure that like you aren't looking at everything with rose colored glasses, like making sure that you still stay aware of where this might feel too good to be true. And I'm not saying that it is, right? But making sure that you are present in all that's coming and all that's presented itself and all of this revitalization before, like, what else can I have and what else can I get? I'm going to actually read the message for Under a Spell, because that's really what kind of stuck out as a good way to approach this this energy, right? It doesn't feel like a warning. It just feels like awareness, right? Because this is general guidance, and how this is turning out or showing up is going to be different for everyone. All right. There is the most beautiful fog you will ever see showering over you. It may feel super dreamy and magical. It probably is. You are in love with an idea. You are in love with what you see. You are completely under a spell. This can be a nice feeling, but if things feel a little funny, like there is something that's not right, you might need to be shaken out of it. You can't think straight when hearts and stars are all you see. It could put a filter on something that's not a good choice for you and make it seem like the best choice. I know it's hard to leave a spell that makes you feel in love, but if you can snap out of it and still feel amazing, then that means it's true. If you snap out of it and feel like someone dropped the cold floor, well, it was just a spell. Okay? So give me a second. Let's see what else might be coming up for you. Yeah, okay, so we have the Ace of Cups in reverse, Judgment, and Nine of Pentacles. Give me a second. This feels like kind of a continuation of what I was just saying. Just kind of operate from awareness. I think honestly, really, this is more about pacing than anything, so that will allow you not to kind of like rush into it, like rushing to make commitments, rushing to make this thing official, trying to create, staying present in what's happening, allowing things to unfold at a steady pace and a slow pace, so that you are creating something that is stable and not an attachment. When we create attachments, it's really to control, right? It's to keep this thing connected. It's to keep this thing close. It's more about going all the way into the future. Like I never want to lose this. I never get, like, I don't want this thing to go. I want it to always be like this, versus actually being present. And a lot of times that when we form those attachments, we cause the thing that we fear, we cause the thing that we don't want to happen, right? And so here again, as you're kind of feeling this new thing out, as you're making more space for it in your life, as you're shifting your life to make space for it, take your time, okay? Take your time and be present in it, and really lean in to all of that goodness in those feelings, instead of being focused on, well, what if it goes away? Okay, give me a second. Yeah, it feels like an answered prayer. It feels like something that you were hoping for, and something that you desired. And so also, don't let old wounds or old pain, or this happened to me back then, or this didn't work out, don't bring that into this situation. Allow it to unfold as it is in the present. If that means forgiveness, if that means of yourself, of another, if that means being vulnerable, if that means taking a risk, right, to do something differently, it is encouraging you to go in unguarded, because again, with that wall, or trying to prevent, like with the control, a certain outcome from happening, you could miss out on this opportunity. So enjoy it. Okay. Give me a second. I feel like there's something else that I need. Okay. Thank you. To kind of like transition into it. Really, like, that's what's going on. That's how you need to handle it. It does feel like something, okay, like part of maybe even this, for some it feels like a fear of what will happen. This won't turn out well. For others, it feels like just like, I love this so much, I don't want it to go away, and trying to control from that aspect. But either way, this does feel connected to something that you've experienced before, something that you tried to make happen before, right? And there might be some kind of wounding or something that's creating the hesitancy. All right, so we're gonna freedom. We want to release from that. I'm gonna read that, but let me finish this. And because this is not that situation, or this is not that time, right? And you cannot you're holding a new standard. You need to allow this to be a clear slate, right? And so that might require some work on your end, some healing on your end. As I said, I already mentioned forgiveness, in order for you to allow this to be new. I'm going to read freedom. I let myself be free. I release myself. Embodied freedom flows through all of me. Freedom is an unbound, untamed, unrestricted flow of energy that can move how it wishes. Freedom can be wild or subtle. We experience freedom. We are no longer held back by our fears, stories, perceived limitations, and beliefs. So especially here in this situation of anything you're telling yourself about, in this instance, like, this is too good to be true, or I can't have this, or this is going to end this way. You kind of have to release this, especially as it's related to something that might have happened in the past. You can't control what happens, but when we allow ourselves to surrender, when you allow yourself to be free, you do give yourself the opportunity to see if this is a fit, if this is aligned, if this is where you are supposed to be and what you are supposed to be doing. And right now, it feels like something is really healing. It feels like something is really new. It feels like something is really good. And this is a place where you can let down that guard and be present. Okay, most of us created ideas at some point for how we should be, look, live, and express ourselves. As we continue to live, we may find that we outgrow the ideas of our former selves created. These were likely once necessary to keep ourselves safe or ensure we would receive the love and acceptance we desire if we behaved in a certain way. It can be difficult to break free from those conditions when they are a part of the very thing that shaped our view of ourselves. This is going to require some vulnerability on your end. This is going to require you to let yourself be seen. This is going to require you to soften your heart or open up or like take that chance and take that risk, okay? Because in order to reap the fullness of this experience and and get the full benefits of it, you have to be willing to embrace all that comes from it, and that is freedom. When we bring awareness to the part of ourselves that we have not let be free, we can liberate ourselves. It is always time to claim deeper layer of our internal freedom over and over again. Our bodies, minds, heart, and magic deserve to live in the fullest freedom. Invite yourself to run free, be wild, play, and do more of what delights you. Speak your truth freely. Notice any conditions or shoulds that you place on yourself. All right, paying attention to that. Free yourself from any former versions of yourselves that no longer aligned with. Okay, let yourself be free. Let yourself enjoy this. Let this be easy, okay? So that you will be able to. Part of what it feels like was with that fantasy is kind of trying to fill in like old areas, fill in old ideas, fill out old dreams. You get to dream something new, right? And you get to have this. But all right, give me a second. And again, there is not trying to do too much. I know I'm sitting over here like, go have fun, do this, go play, da 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 da. There's something foundational. There's something that needs still more of your attention before you start adding in a whole bunch. Let me see if I can get an example. Give an example. What came to mind is I had a garden. I started a garden, right? And, you know, once everything started coming in, I was like, I'm going to do this. 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 Instead of like, you know, I'm going to add this plant. I'm going to add that. I'm going to do da 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 da. Instead of like what I really need to do. This is just my first, you know, go around. I need to evaluate what went well, what thrived, what changes I need to make. With what crops or what plants I currently have in my garden, how can I strengthen my harvest for next year before I add 25 other plants to the mix, okay? Because when you add other things into the mix, I'm sorry, have I showed y'all these cards? I'll show you the King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Cups. And I know you're like, that's beautiful. That's it. Yes, it is, right? But this is also about sustainability. This is also about maintenance. This is also about making sure your foundation and your support can hold all of that good shit, can hold all of that newness, right? And so when we're feeling good or we're feeling exciting or we're feeling successful, feeling on top of the world, you feel like, okay, what else? What else? Make sure this is solid. Make sure this is solid because this is the foundation for all of your dreaming and all of the new that's coming in and all of the freedom that you are creating. Okay? So focusing on that. Give me a second. Is there anything else? That feels pretty clear, right? Yeah. I would say outside of that, again, you know, just paying attention to where you feel your fear popping up, where you feel like you may not deserve this, where this feels like connected to old things, and being very intentional and present about addressing that wounding and how it might be playing a part in your ability to embrace the new, or your, if you're trying to make attachments versus just being present. But I would encourage you to enjoy it, encourage you to be present, and yes, continue to build out what's coming for you. This is beautiful energy for you, especially around, I'm sorry, this is, we at the end, but this is the full moon reading. So the work that you've been doing, the effort that you've been pouring out, it has really started to bloom around you. All right, fixed signs, I return this energy to you.